tourism in the United States of America has absolutely been falling for honestly many reasons. I mean, think about where some of the people are coming from. Understand, we are definitely, in some type of global recession. I mean, everyone for the most part is struggling, guys, and I think that's just kind of how things are here. Now, obviously, there are going to be certain networks and certain people that are coming from echo chambers that are just going to immediately push all the blame specifically onto whoever's in the White House at the time, right? But it really comes down to the fact that everyone is basically broke. Everything is more expensive in their home countries. I live half the year in Europe. I can definitely tell you things have gotten a lot more expensive there, and people were barely holding on, all right? And so that's the thing here, okay? There are a couple of reasons, but let's go ahead and see which reason they are going to attempt to blame today. Yes, they're not coming anymore. America's hidden tourism crisis. This is coming from the channel Reporting Zone. Let me double check that name, guys. Report Zone. Apologies. Link will be in the description. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
The U.S. is tracking a big drop in tourism from around the world. Take a look at this. Travel from Canada and Mexico was down double digits in March. We're also seeing fewer visitors from Western Europe, Central and South Asia, South America, I should say.
Here in New York, tourism is also being hit big time.
Yes.
Once again, driven by negative sentiment toward the USA.
Stunning images of near empty passenger planes.
Guys, understand how cheap things are to move closer, right? Like, so instead of coming to the United States of America from Western Europe, for example, it is much cheaper just to go to, I don't know, we'll take Ryanair and take a flight to Milan for like, I don't know, 50 euros. Imagine for a second here. They can go a lot closer for cheaper.
Are popping up on social media.
Things are expensive.
These international flights have many tourists flying to the USA
Very
practically alone. Shauna Massengill flew from London to Chicago. Look, barely anyone on board.
There was nobody there. There was nobody in my row.
Okay,
It
you're
was
American.
really shocking. I've never been on a flight like that.
Something strange is happening in 2025. For decades, the United
you were
States
coming
stood
home.
tall as the dream destination, the land of skyscrapers, movie stars, and bucket list vacations. But this year, that dream is cracking. Global tourism is changing fast, and for the first time in a generation, the U.S. isn't on the winning side. In the past, travelers came not just for the views, but for what America represented. Freedom, innovation, opportunity, but now, concerned. People are second-guessing. They're skipping the Statue of Liberty, avoiding Times Square, choosing other destinations. Not because of distance or price, but because something deeper is shifting. In country after country, we're seeing the same pattern: hesitation. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady and growing. Business travel is stalling. Student exchanges are declining. Entire airline routes are quietly disappearing, and the data doesn't lie. In 2025, American tourism is no longer the safe bet it once was. According to the U.S. Travel Association's April snapshot, international visits have dropped significantly across key regions, including Western Europe. What's causing this? It's not one big moment. It's a combination of many. Let's talk about trust. Across Europe and Asia, travelers report rising concerns about U.S. immigration, long border waits, aggressive questioning, even
That's the
racial
thing.
profiling.
Yeah, guys, the U.S. border is absolutely a long wait. Like specifically, if you have ever had to kind of come into the United States of America from another place and you're with someone from another place, so you just, go with them through that process. Oh my God, guys, it is a wild one. All right. And I mean that to the depth of me. It is a wild one. But all right.
National headlines are filled with stories of detentions and visa denials, even for professionals and students. These aren't rumors. They're real events, documented, shared, and amplified. In Germany, the government officially updated its travel guidance after several German citizens, including students, were detained at American airports. According to Reuters, the German Foreign Ministry stated that even a valid visa no longer guarantees entry into the U.S. In Japan, NHK, the national broadcaster, covered multiple incidents of engineers and tourists being held for hours by U.S. customs officers, fueling frustration among businesses and universities. And in Australia, SmartRaveler, the government's travel advisory service, issued multiple warnings about inconsistent airport security and increased scrutiny at U.S. borders. Meanwhile, Flight Center, the country's largest travel agency,
are
reported a
valid points.
16% drop in U.S. bookings while travel to Japan and New Zealand surged. On social media, Australians share stories of invasive phone checks, long delays, and general unease.
I was questioned by one of the officers, and then shortly after, my mother and I were taken into a room. We were held there for quite some time before my mum was released, and then I was unfortunately remaining behind for further interrogation, and then that was about a 4 to 5 hour ordeal before I was taken to the federal detention center.
News.com.au
Why, though?
ran a widely shared article describing first-hand accounts of travelers being ordered to unlock their phones or face immediate deportation. This isn't just about tourism
What?
anymore. It's about identity, values, reputation. For many international travelers, America once symbolized optimism. Now, it often represents uncertainty. And let's not ignore the political elephant in the room. Serious tariffs, trade tensions, diplomatic friction. These don't just impact policy, they ripple down to everyday travelers. Flights get cut, insurance premiums rise, confidence in the travel experience falters. And the response has been swift. In Canada, the country's closest neighbor, Forbes reported that in April alone, air travel to the U.S. from Canada dropped nearly 20%, while land border crossings fell over 35%. Canadian media and forums are filled with discussions urging travelers to skip the States and spend their money elsewhere.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Like specifically if you bring up Canada, that does not surprise me, specifically with all of like the beef for the most part, the public beefs that the current president has had with Canada, basically, calling them the 51st state, saying that they were basically going to be annexed, all types of craziness. I can imagine how they could be, moderately offended, specifically.
Global news highlighted a growing trend. Canadians canceling Florida vacations and buying properties in Portugal or Mexico instead.
It's cheaper there.
Airlines are responding too. Air Canada has reduced routes to U.S. cities and increased flights to Latin America and Europe. The truth is, the world still wants to believe in the U.S. The culture, the music, the technology, it's still admired, but concerned. But in 2025, admiration isn't enough. What people want now is respect, safety, and consistency. In France, Le Monde published a front-page piece suggesting that America has lost its romantic image. French travel agencies report double-digit declines in U.S. bookings, with many travelers now opting for Spain, Greece, or Quebec.
Okay, so basically multiple places that, well, except for Quebec, but multiple places that basically cost about 20 euros to get to.
French
from France.
longer view the U.S. as a guaranteed ally. Polls show that over 70% of French citizens now hold unfavorable views of American leadership. Can this trend
fine.
reverse? Absolutely. But
Because, guys, for the most part, we have a name for France, guys, specifically. If you're from the United States of America and you experience France for the first time, you've built it up in your head. It's called Paris syndrome. So go to Paris. And you're probably going to experience one of the dirtiest cities with some of the rudest people you'll ever encounter in your entire life. Paris syndrome. Okay, so just don't even go, guys. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a super fan of France. Again, it's like the next country over from where I live in Europe. But I don't know, guys. Bypass France just completely. It's like one of the flyover states of the United States of America, guys. No offense, no, all offense.
But it's going to take
All
work,
offense.
and not just flashy advertising campaigns. It
Food
will
is
require
terrible.
reforming how America treats foreign visitors. That means clearer border policies, cultural sensitivity training, and deeper cooperation with foreign consulates. Because tourism isn't just economics, it's diplomacy, it's storytelling, it's how people relate to a place before they ever step foot in it. And when visitors stop coming, it's not just lost money, it's lost trust, lost relationships. If America wants to remain a beacon of inspiration, it must repair more than runways. It must repair its image. Maybe that starts with empathy, with realizing that every traveler,
Empathy.
every passport carries a story and deserves dignity. What do you
Well,
think?
that's
Is the
valid.
U.S. still the dream destination it once was? Or are we witnessing a quiet unraveling of something much bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this report
Okay, guys. Okay. This is their outro. It's intriguing, guys. I mean, listen. I think when it comes down to it, people are going to come if they want to come. But if they are specifically from certain places around the globe, it makes sense why things have dropped. right? Like if you are coming from an area that, specifically in the United States of America, we're getting a gigantic influx of people from your region. I can imagine how you yourselves would say, you know what, I don't want to go there. That's fine. I guess, right? Now, in terms of like Europe, because I can only kind of speak on the concept of Europe outside of the United States of America, maybe Asia, but Asia's not going to drop because again, they're not the direct target here, right? But when it comes down to Europe specifically, guys, our left wing is generally like the right wing in Europe. Understand that. So now imagine what they perceive Trump to be outside of the United States of America. Right? They perceive him to be something absolutely astronomically, crazy. Okay, so yeah. And then of course the left wing media pushes out all this other stuff basically to Europe, and then they see this, and that's all they basically see. They because they everything is different there. Let's just say that things are very different with how like society and culture kind of moves, and the things that are just like wildly openly acceptable out there, just like, of course it's normal. What do you mean? Right? And it's not that acceptable except in like certain places in the United States of America, right? I don't know. I can imagine how you could perceive Trump as some absolute, monster. And you're like, oh no, he's the leader of the country, not fully understanding nothing about the United States of America. I mean, because guys, yeah, Trump is there, but he's there. He's like in Washington, D.C., bro. You should care a lot more about the state's governor you're going to. Like, don't be one of these idiots out here. Okay. Like, so for example, the president of the United States of America matters to people outside, right? I mean, we care, for some reason, guys, we care a lot more about the president, unfortunately, than we care about the governors. What you should be worried about is who your governor is. Okay. That's what matters. And I mean, like, truthfully matters, because that's what you're going to be experiencing on a day to day. So if you're traveling to a place, why are you worried about the president? You're inside of the United States of America. He really only affects, for the most part, well, he obviously he has like sweeping effects. Let's say he could, but on the day to day, your local government matters more, truthfully, right? Because there are a lot of things that are completely legal in some states, but are like illegal federally. Like, just understand that that's a thing here. So when people ignorantly, and I mean this to the depths of me, ignorantly, because their home country most likely has that one entity that rules and lords over everything, so they're immediately perceiving the president to be the same thing that they're experiencing, you're wrong. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. Okay, like there are some states who basically, for the most part, kowtow, let's say, to the president, right? Where they, if the president dictates something, then the state is just going to do it. There are some places like that, but then there are many other states that they have their, for the most part, they adhere, right? But the governor matters, bro. You go into the state of New York, worry about the governor, okay? Because again, look at New York fighting against every single thing Trump does, okay? Versus Texas, who doesn't. You see what I'm saying here, guys? There are certain places that adhere a lot more to what the president dictates versus others. And most of the places that are normally known for massive amounts of tourism generally don't adhere to much. Look at them. New York, California, right? You want to go to Florida? Well, he's going to listen to whatever, no matter what, good or bad, he's just going to follow whatever the president is saying specifically. Okay. And I think that's the reality that there are many people that just don't grasp here, guys. Pay attention to the governor, because that actually affects the people on a regular basis. A lot more than what the president is saying. The president is for you guys outside of the country to worry about, truthfully. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And definitely, I expect what I just said in the last couple of moments here is going to ruffle some feathers. But that's fine. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm there for it. All right, in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.